Hey, my name's Daniel. Welcome back to my shop. This week, we're going to build a small side table, like one of the ones I mentioned last week during the shop tour. Come along with me, let's do it. Can't all be winners. Okay, this is the table we're gonna build today. It's a pretty simple construction. It's put together by mortise and tenons. There's no hardware whatsoever. One of the things that I like about it is it's pretty simple to go together, like I just mentioned. It's got a sleek design. People like it because it's kind of a space saver, and that's how I market it. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I call it the DDWW Narrow on my website. I've sold dozens of these, so that's what we're gonna build today. Off camera, I've already cut a few templates because I figured it'd be pretty boring to see me cut templates on the CNC. So I'm gonna show you all how to cut this out and build it with templates using traditional woodworking items and tools and stuff like that. At the end of the video, if you're interested, I will have digital files for you to cut this out on your own CNC, or I will have plans so you can make your own templates, or you can even buy templates directly from me. Stay tuned for that at the end of the video or down in the description. Anyways, let's get to work. All right, so incidentally, we actually have an order for one of those tables in the queue out of cherry. So that's what we're gonna use. Let me see if I could dig these out here. Ooh, there's a big knot in that one. We need 3 pieces total because we're gonna need a top and a bottom and 2 legs. The 2 legs can come out of 1 piece. We need 2 at 23 and 1 at 24 by at least 8. So we got that. However, ooh, that's gonna be close. Let's use this piece instead. Which means I gotta clumsily put this back into the rack. As you can see from last week, we actually restocked some of our wood. There we go. All right, now that we have all 3 pieces cut, and they seem to be relatively flat enough for our purposes anyway, I think we're just gonna take them over to the planer and skip plane them and go from there. All right, as mentioned last week, this is my planer. Now, you don't have to have a giant industrial planer, obviously. I designed this table so it could work with any sort of 3/4 inch material, whether it be plywood or S4S material you get from your lumber provider. I happen to get rough cut lumber, so it does need to be cleaned up a little bit. All right, now that you got your pieces planed to thickness, we can lay them out. This one is going to be for the legs. It's 1 inch longer than the top and bottom. And I like to lay them out and figure out which side is going to be the upside and the show side or the inside. I like to have the color variations on the inside, so the mortises will be here like this. Now, one of the things that I also like to do when I'm using templates is use a big fat marker so that it gives you a big fat line, and you'll see why in a little bit. But hold the template down and just trace around it without moving the template. Like so. And my marker's about dead, Sutton. We're gonna have to get rid of that. And 2 legs out of 1 piece. So let's, there we go. go. Don't judge me on my art or my tracing abilities. Alrighty, over at the bandsaw. Now, before I start, you do not have to have a bandsaw. I'm gonna use one because I have one. You can use a jigsaw. You can even use one of these if you hate yourself enough. I don't even know what this is called. Doesn't matter. The important thing is you need to stay outside of the black line, but kind of stay as close as possible because after we're done here, we're gonna take it over to the router table and flush trim it with a template route. Yes, words are hard. Anyways, let's go. Pro tip, you don't need to save every bit of scrap that you make in your shop. It's okay to get rid of it. It's okay. Let it go. You know what, Sutton, I just realized that these make nice handles. Like this could be a serving tray in and of itself. Anyways, these are actually the mortises for our table legs. And instead of just going right into flush trimming those, we're gonna pre-drill them out a little bit with a Forstner bit and a drill. Keep in mind, the leg template is over there. Keep in mind, we only need to go about 3/8 of an inch deep. I think the actual measurement is like 0.4 inches. Why did I do that? I don't know, but I did. So to give ourselves a hand, we are going to hog out a little bit with a Forstner bit, as I said. Now, I could have taken this over to the drill press and did it over there and probably had a lot more accurate results. As you probably saw, that one right there got a little bit away from me. That's okay. We're doing actual woodworking today. After you get those done on both pieces, I still have to do it for this one. Then we will go over to the router table. Once again, you don't need a router table. You can do this with a handheld trim router. I have it, so I'm gonna use it. So I actually got a little bit ahead of myself. Before we do the template routing, we actually have to stick this to our piece with double-sided tape. I like X-Fasten brand woodworking tape. It is super strong, it's phenomenal. You don't have to use this kind of tape. I choose it, not sponsored, just highly recommend. There'll be a link down below for this. It'll be an affiliate link, but hey, it won't cost you any more and it'll give me a little kickback. Also, you don't need a whole lot. A little goes a long way. I learned this the hard way. So we're gonna do just a couple squares on either end. All right, make sure your tape is laying flat, no wrinkles. And the most annoying part is taking off the yellow backing. All right. Line her up as best you can so you're hitting every bit. See how strong that is? I'm holding it by the template only. All right, the next thing up on the list is, hey, my eyes are up here. What's going on? Oh, yeah, my bad. He yells at me for that all the time, like, it's fine, right? It's fine? It's not fine. I'm sorry. I apologize, Sutton. All right, the next thing up now is the flush trim routing. So this is a flush trim pattern bit. It's got a bearing on the top. It's a compression bit. I use a 1/4 inch. I believe this comes from Bits and Bits, bitsbits.com, not sponsored. you can see, I probably left a little more on the edges than I should have. It's no big deal, it just took a little longer. The bit struggled a little bit, but yeah, maybe don't leave on as much as I did. Before we take the template off, we're gonna template route out the mortises so that they're lined up perfectly still. All right, as you can see, that is a beautifully smooth, why did I say that so weird? That's a beautifully smooth edge, thanks to our template. We're going to finish out the mortises. I'm gonna use what would this be, a top bearing bit on a trim router. I understand people get nervous with these things. You could easily do this with a Forstner bit and a chisel. I'm gonna do this for speed. Typically, these all get cut on my CNC, so I don't ever have to worry about it. But for video purposes, trim router. All right, now that we got the mortises cut, we can take this template off and you can see how strong this tape is. Oh my God. Struggle bus! Can you imagine if I used 2 giant full pieces of tape? Hold on. We're gonna pull out the big knives. This may or may not be a good idea. There we go. Just need to start it. Get this on tape. Why is it so stiff? Oh my God. It does feel dangerous, doesn't it? We're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen, okay? As you can see, the tape is strong. Use less tape than I did. Well, we gotta do that 3 more times. All right, because okay, because we use the router bit, it obviously is a circle and it's gonna have a radius. If something could come in tight here, you can see that there's a radius there. We need that to be 90 degrees. Also, the inside of the mortise is rounded over. So we either need to make that square or we need to round over that. So I think we're gonna keep all work to the legs themselves. We'll keep this rounded. And we're gonna do that with a file. I'm kidding, I'm gonna use my bandsaw. Obviously, you don't have to use your bandsaw for that. It's just so much faster over there. You could cut that out with a chisel or you could file it. It's really not that hard. However, I am gonna have to use the file to round over the tenons here so they will fit inside the mortises. I'm gonna be a real woodworker. Okay, let's test the fit, see if I rounded it over enough. Ooh. That's pretty good. That'll do. All right, we got to do that 3 more times. All right, now that these are fitting in there nicely, as you can see, a good friction fit, it's time to pick out what edge detail we want on the pieces before we glue it together. It's just going to be easier to do it that way. I like just a nice subtle round over. Time to sand, everybody's favorite. Pro tip, or just Dan tip, go to a Five and Below store, Dollar General, wherever, and get yourself one of these $5 yoga mats. Awful for yoga mats, great as sanding mats. And like I said, they're like $5. Anyway, sanding, let's go. This little 3x4 sander from Surf Prep with their Pro Foam on here is great for sanding over edge profiles. It just makes life so much easier. Now that the sanding is done, it's time for glue up. We're getting very close to the end. Let's go. Let's go, as my kids would say. Also, this is a great glue brush for this. A pencil. Pencil has many uses. You just gotta spread it in there. Nice tight fit. Come on, there we go. I'm always on the struggle bus. Oh yeah, I also designed this. So 24-inch clamps are the perfect clamps for this. Let's clean up any glue squeeze out, because when we put finish on there, that glue will shine like a diamond. I'll tell you what, it'll be hard to miss. It is day 2. We could have done this all in one day, but we ran out of time yesterday. So let's take the clamps off and get right to work. All right, yesterday we left off just by gluing this up. I'm gonna do some quick touch-up sanding in the corners where we wiped it with a wet rag. Using a wet rag will raise the grain, so I kind of want to knock that back down. That is probably way more than we're gonna need. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Makes it real good. I almost forgot gloves. And yes, these gloves come from Temu. Sutton refuses to use them. They're fine. They're perfectly fine. Simple application. Yeah, we made way more than we're gonna need, I think. And there you have it. This is the DDWW Narrow. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoy making this little table. Remember, if you want the cut files for your CNC or a PDF, that'll be down in the description. Also, a link to get your own templates made by me, shipped to you from me, also be down below. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. In the meantime, I'll see you on the next one. Now that we have the 3 pieces, and they're relatively flat already, so I think we're just gonna take them over to the planer and skip the... Start over. Or you could do it with a handsaw. What is that thing? What is that called? I don't know what hand saws are called. No, there's a special saw. It's got a special name. this. We'll do that. And there you have it. This is the DDWW Narrow, the same table I sell on my website. Remember, I forgot.